What's up, guys? Rhett Tollison here, KST Kustoms. Today we're going to go over our pre-wired bundle that we're selling on our website. Just kind of go over, what you're buying, what to do when you get it, how to complete the assembly and how to get it on your bike. So we're going to go over, getting your controls and stuff off of your stock handlebars, and then we'll go into plugging everything up on your new handlebars and getting them ready to put on the bike. All right, so the first thing we're going to do once you get your bars off of your bike is we're going to remove the switch covers. All right, you'll need a small flathead screwdriver. There's a little catch piece here. We're going to pry up on it. It'll open up this little door on the back side, and you'll remove the switch housing from the bar. If you have aftermarket grips, we'll slide our grips off. If you have the stock grips, you may have to cut them off, or a little excessive force may get them taken off on the clutch side. All right, same thing on the throttle side. Switch covers off. Throttle grip will just slide off. Same thing here with the little door on the back. We're just going to pry, put a little pressure on it, and that backside door will come off, and we'll remove it from the bar. I don't have it on here, but your stock bar will have a throttle-by-wire harness that runs through the bar. You just pull it straight out of your stock bar. It'll come out very simply, very easily. So you remove it from the bar, and we'll go to the next step. All right, we're going to take our same little flathead screwdriver. We're going to pull our switch harness out of this little cutout, and there are tabs here on your plugs. We're going to stick our flathead in, push down. It'll pull out. Same thing on the other one. Tab in, push down, pull out. All right, same thing on the other side. Pull the switch harness out of the cutout. Flathead screwdriver into that tab. Pull the plug out. All right, so now we've got our switch housings removed from our stock wire harnesses. You can discard your stock wiring harnesses, maybe save them for a rainy day. But what we're going to do now is going to go over, how to plug your switch housings up to the harnesses that are preloaded into your new handlebar. We're also going to go over pulling the throttle-by-wire harness through the bar. And then I'm going to show you this heated grip feature that we have already preloaded in the bar if you have heated grips. All right, so when you get your new bars, you bought them pre-wired, you'll notice that we have a pull wire coming out of the end of the throttle side. This is what you will use to pull your throttle-by-wire harness through the bar. All right, this black wire loom that will come on your stock throttle-by-wire harness, we like to remove it. It just makes it really tough getting it in through the bar and getting it over, the joints and stuff. So we like to remove the whole loom and just do a single loop of electrical tape about every 4 inches just to keep the harness together and allow it to go through the bar. All right, I like to use these fancy medical grade scissors. You can use a razor blade. You just have to be careful not to skin up your wires. Really cold here today. Nothing wants to flex. All right, so we'll discard that. And then we'll just do a single loop electrical tape. Set about every 3 or 4 inches. let's get it through the bar. All right, so we're going to tape off our throttle-by-wire harness to our pull wire. You'll notice you have 2 plugs here. This one, the 2-wire plug, is for your heated grips if you have them. And then your 6-wire plug is your actual throttle-by-wire. So we'll start just right behind the throttle-by-wire plug. Just tape it off tight and light. You don't want it big and bulky. All right, so that, you can see how I've got that taped, you know, tight and light. We don't have, you know, a big bulky wad of electrical tape. We want it as slim as we can get it through the bar. You can de-pin these if you're having trouble. You know, it does make it a little easier, but they will go through there still on the plug. All right, so now we're ready to pull our throttle-by-wire harness through the bar. If you see us at the rallies, you'll see us doing this in our lap. It's just the way that we've always kind of done it. If you have it on a table sitting upright like this, make sure that you do not scratch up the points on your handlebar. If you have, you know, a Mayhem Bagger or Renegade or, you know, something like that. You can put it in a vise. That's one way of doing it, but just make sure you don't damage your bars. So we're gonna do a push-pull method like we always do. Feed the harness in, pull out the slack. Feed it in, pull out the slack. All right, just keep pushing the harness in, pulling the slack out of the bottom. If you get hung up, just back it out a little bit, rotate it, try it again. All right, when you start to see your plug coming out of the base slot here, you just may have to wiggle your other harness wires around to give it some space. All right, once you get all the tape out of the bottom slot here, let's go ahead and untape it and let's get our pull wire out of the bar. It don't really matter which way you go with the pull wire. I always just like to back feed it out of the end of the handle. Same thing, just kind of push and pull it out. All right, you can discard that. Now we're just going to finish feeding it through the bar. We'll seat it into the notches. All right, we'll go to the next side. All right, so coming out of the left end, you'll notice we've got some wires that are already terminated. This will be for your heated grips, trying to make this easy for you. You know, you're not having to pull the whole harness through the bar. You just cut your stock harness on your left heated grip. We've got some pretty good quality splices that we'll use. They're simple to use, and all you have to do is feed it through the bar, you know, 7 or 8 inches, and you'll be good to go. So the first thing that we're gonna do is take our left side heated grip, and we're gonna cut both of these harnesses. One of them has a black and red wire, and the other one will have either a black and white, 2 separate black and white wires, or they'll both be black with a white stripe on it. You don't have to really label them you know, as far as being different. It just makes the loop from the left side to the right, and they're not specific as far as where they need to go. So we'll just clip these off. I'm gonna do about 3 or 4 inches from the grip. You may have to use an X-Acto knife, pull the sheathing off. Just want to get the casing opened up. So we've got our wires exposed. We're just going to terminate the ends on them. Maybe an inch, inch and a half. You'll see on this one, it's a black wire with a white stripe on both of them. Like I said, don't worry about, you know, keeping them labeled. They're not specific as far as they don't do different things. All right. That's what it should look like. All right, so here's our butt splices that we're going to use. These are they're solder butt splices, so we're going to make a connection with our wires. Well, first you're going to slide them on to the wires. We'll twist our wires together. We'll slide it back up, and this center section here is solder. We'll apply a little bit of heat to it, let the wires solder together, and then we'll shrink the rest of the tubing down so that it keeps the wires protected and seals them up good. So I'm just going to slide butt splice on. Now, one thing I will say, obviously you have 2 different black wires here. You need to make sure, and there'll be sheathing that separates them. You need to make sure that the correct black wire goes with the red and that the other black one goes with the white. So there'll be sheathing that separates those 2 harnesses when you get them, so you'll be able to differentiate the 2. We'll twist our wires together here. All right, slide the butt splice over it until the metal solder is right in the center of where you twisted your wires together. A torch works better. All I had on me today was a lighter. You're just gonna give it a little bit of heat. Don't put the flame straight to it. Just kind of warm it up. You don't want to burn through the plastic. And you can actually see that solder, when it gets hot, it will run throughout the wires and make you a good connection. All right, then you can, once you see the solder do its thing, we can seal up the ends here. Just apply some heat, kind of roll it around. There you go. All right, we'll do the next one. All right, same thing, just for the other 3. Slide our butt splice on. Make sure we're getting the correct black wire. Twist them together. Slide your butt splice over till your solder is right in the center of where you twisted your wires together. A little heat to that solder until you see it melt. go. And then you can apply heat to the rest of the butt splice, seal it all up. All right, move on to the next one. Butt splice on. Once again, here it doesn't really matter what's what. Twist your wires together. Put your solder in the center of the connection. We will include some extras and extra butt splices when you order these, just in case you happen to mess one up. Seal it up good. All right, last one. Butt splice on. Twist your wires together. Slide your solder to the center. Apply some heat. Just make sure you don't burn it up. All right. You can check the connection on all of them too. Just give them a little tug. And if you want, you can throw electrical tape around that whole bundle there. I wouldn't say it's a necessity, but if it gives you a little bit more peace of mind, then it's not going to hurt anything. So now we'll pull this extra bit of slack, through the tube here. You can notice, about where I started, cutting off my stock harness. It's pretty close to the actual grip here. That'll keep us from getting these joints into the joint of our Mayhem bagger that we're working on here. All right, before we start pulling that extra slack through, let's make sure that we find the right harnesses on the bottom side here. I've got my black and red with a female plug, and then the black and white with a male plug. All right, so I've got the correct harnesses coming out of the bottom slot. Now I'm just gonna do the same thing, push, pull. Push, pull. Oh, Lord. Push some of the harness in, pull out the slack. Until the grip's seated all the way in. All right, now we're ready to plug up our switch harnesses, or our switch housings to our switch harness. Just kind of a reverse sequence of what we did, taking them off of our stock bars. We're on the throttle side first. We got a 1-wire plug, goes into the 1-wire plug on the housing. 4-wire plug, goes into the 4-wire plug on the housing. Make sure they click in. All right, now we're just gonna seat or nest our harness into this groove, this cutout on the housing, so that we don't pinch anything when we mount them. Just kind of use your finger to kind of wedge it all in there. You make sure that that the housing's seated pretty good on the bar there. You may see a little bit of a gap, but you know, if you've got your harness, you know, pinched or in a bind there, it won't close up easily. So just double check that. All right, same thing on the other side. 4-wire plug. Make it click. Nest the harness into your groove. Seat it on the bar. Make sure it seats on there nice, not seeing a big gap. Click that door in, and we're ready to put our covers on the bar, on the switch housing. Put our switch covers on. It's a T25. I think I failed to mention that earlier. Just snug them, lock them all the way down. You probably need to adjust them. All right, so if you have heated grips, your throttle side heated grip, there'll be a tiny plug inside of it. These two holes here in the sensor, that is what that plug will go into. I don't have one on hand today, so if you need reference to that, go to my internal wiring video on our YouTube channel, and it'll walk through that in detail. So for this, I'm just gonna slide our grip on, and we'll put our switch covers on the throttle side. All right, switch covers on. Done. All right, so that completes you know, your what to do when you get your pre-wired handlebars. You know, if you have any questions, obviously give us a call, shoot us an email. I'll be happy to walk you through it. We have other installation videos that will kind of follow suit with this, you know, that show the entire internal wiring process. You know, if you buy your bars this way, pre-wired, you can skip that step and just follow along with the disassembly and the reassembly, you know, to help you get your bars off the bike and your bars back on the bike, and, get you ready to ride down the road. So I appreciate you hanging out with us today. Once again, any questions, drop us a comment, Facebook, Instagram, give us a call, shoot us an email. We'll be happy to help. We'll see you again next time.